Welcome in, everybody, to the Crowded Booth. My name is Bryce Koon, and it is just about that time to really start talking about the college football playoff. We tried to hold off as long as we could. We cannot, no, we can't do it anymore. No longer can we not talk about the college football playoff. Those first rankings will be revealed tomorrow. It's a big day for our country tomorrow. We're going to get political on tonight's show. We can't wait to talk to you here on the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The Crowded Booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bryce Koon. We appreciate you so much for tuning in here on a wonderful November 4th evening. Will Mannis and Ralph Leary alongside me as we get ready to talk college football. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that you make sure that you're ready to talk college football as well. I got to do a little housekeeping here. Let's make sure people know we're live. There you go. Get out of that. Bada bing, bada boom. Fellas, big day tomorrow. Big day. And
for a lot of reasons.
And
it's a huge day. November 5th is a huge day. You already said it. The first college football playoff rankings come out. It's the NFL trade deadline, and Maction returns. It's been a couple weeks since Maction, but Maction's finally back tomorrow night. I know that's what everybody's going to be watching tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, Will, what are we bringing?
I didn't even say anything, and I got thrown out.
Matt Hubbard says Maction, baby. No, here I got a qualm. I said I wouldn't get political. I said I'd never get political on this show. But Will, we're getting political tonight.
We talked about this already. I know where this is going.
I just got my absentee ballot today. Okay. And as I was getting ready to vote for the great county of Harris there in Georgia, I'm perusing through, and can someone please tell me why there's a political affiliation, a party affiliation for the job of coroner? In God's name, what does a Democratic coroner run on compared to a Republican coroner? The first person who can tell me that will literally win whatever. I don't even know. You'll get a free T-shirt, something. Whoever can tell me why that is necessary.
Will deliver the shirt personally to you wherever you are.
Yes, and we'll vlog it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should say this. I might get in trouble for saying this.
Don't say it.
I wonder if it's COVID related.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that's fair. That's fair. There's obviously two different schools of thought on both. I
mean, one party says the cause of death is COVID, and the other is not COVID.
Oh well. Okay. I mean, no, that's not. I mean, that actually happened. So that's not. That's facts.
Gavin just nuked it. We're not gonna put it on there.
But seriously, if you can tell me why there's a Democratic elected official or a Republican elected official for literally determining people are like just saying people are dead, I'd love to know what your platform you're running on is.
Bryce, did you get a vote for the Pine Mountain Water Conservation up there?
Yeah, I put you in.
No, I put John Koon down. I put your dad.
I voted for my dad as write-ins for that type of position ever since I could vote.
Yeah. Sir, this is the Wendy's. I agree.
Okay, that's all I had. That's all the political talk we'll get from us tonight. And I'm still trying to decide: should we do the call-in show tomorrow night? Would people rather should we do the call-in show over watching who's going to be the leader of the free world?
If you mentioned anything with the actual election,
I already told you what everybody's going to be doing. We're going to be watching Maction.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm sorry. Maybe we should
just and college basketball. Auburn plays tomorrow night.
Okay, here we go. Dr. Bob says, Dr. Bob has commented so much on this little blurb that it literally covers up Ralph's face and half of mine. Given that this is my specialty, I can explain. Some states have coroner systems and others have medical examiner systems. Coroners are elected lay people who have other duties such as psychiatric commits. Okay, medical examiners are trained forensic pathologists who actually do autopsies. That's okay. But how do you run on a political platform for that?
I'm still wondering how you're affiliated with a party.
I don't understand, and I'm not trying to. I really don't get that. I don't.
Are
understand
you in the
Listen,
same
this
like
is the
sheriff,
time.
like a sheriff position, kind of?
This is
No,
the
because you can
time.
have policies for that.
This is the time where we admit that we're rock dwellers.
I mean, dude, I graduated with a 2.6 GPA. I had to go beg my American Lit professor to let me graduate college. And then my wife wrote all of my papers for my sports communications class, the one class that Barry that I actually did.
You didn't even do.
I didn't even do. Yeah, I didn't get a scholarship to my private high school because I sat in front of someone and I cried about Jackie Robinson. So there's that. I don't know if anyone knows that. Yeah, I still, because corners are elected. Dr. Bob says medical examiners are appointed. I understand that, but how do you differentiate between a Democrat who is a coroner and a Republican who's a coroner? Like, what is the basis of what you're running off of?
I can tell you what it is.
So you know where I live, so come get some. Like, for real. I'm just gonna be honest, man. He's almost something done so bad. Come get some. Y'all take care. God bless.
That was probably the best timed joke I have ever seen.
That was perfect.
Gavin says, "Will, what does this have to do with Auburn?" Well, I don't know if Will's going to talk about Auburn tonight.
I hope not.
The Lee County coroner might be needed.
If you talk about Auburn,
no, I'm saying, what does it have to do with Auburn? A coroner might need to go take a look at that football program and let us know if it's dead or alive.
Oh, we got Gavin.
Gavin can tell you
Gavin's
that.
there.
Gavin might need to run for coroner because he always talking about things that are dead.
Yeah. He's great.
So there you go. Okay, tonight's show going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about. We're just going to have a takeaway of the weekend. We appreciate if you tuned in on Saturday night, late into the wee hours of Sunday morning. Ralph and I talked about some of the games and talked about it live as South Carolina knocked off A&M. Tonight's going to be a little bit different from our typical Monday shows because we're really going to just kind of focus on. Everything is dead, Gavin says. There you go. That's he's an independent. He's part of the Green Party if he's a coroner. Everything is that. He's the Ron Swanson.
Gavin did vote for Jill Stein.
Oh.
Okay. See, there we go. Gavin has a family, Bryce. Not really.
Whoa, okay.
So no, I'm just kidding. He's got 2 demon dogs, that's for sure.
That's definitely
That's
true.
fact.
Anyways.
I don't even...
It's okay.
Gavin.
Yeah, let's
I wish we could explain why that's so funny. Because Bryce, you and I were there.
That's my only qualm. I've used that word twice in the first 8 minutes of this show, by the way. That's my only issue with Georgia State. Only problem with me. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So tonight's show is going to be different. If you just wanted to actually watch football content, you fast forward to the 8:33 mark, and we'll start talking about it. Tonight, we're going to take each a takeaway from the weekend, something we feel like we learned, and then we each have our ballots. What is our 12-team playoff going to look like? And I want to preface it with this: you're going to see a 12-team ranking tomorrow. Then you're going to see a 12-team playoff bracket. They're not going to be mutually exclusive in terms of. Like your 1 through 4 could have 2 SEC teams, 2 Big Ten teams, but that doesn't mean that that's going to be the 1 through 4 in the playoff. I feel like people know that, but just maybe you need to, a refresher on that. So let's start with our takeaways, though. Will, we'll start with you, my friend, because I think we did this a couple weeks ago with our boy Bruni. You needed to do a little hand up situation. We had to do public apologies, and I think that you're here for not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 public apologies. So take it away, my friend.
Yeah, best way for me to put this is cold takes exposed. If you're in the Discord or on Twitter, yep, there we go.
Sorry, continue.
I stated I planted my flag on Georgia State and Dale McGee. It has been a very, very tough first season. They dropped to 2-6 this week after what ended up being a close loss to UConn. They lost by 7. Played pretty well in that fourth quarter to make it a 2-score game. But my expectations were a lot higher. I thought with 2 former ACC quarterbacks, they would be able to make some noise. But it's been a real struggle for Dale McGee in year 1. He's recruiting extremely well, so still have a lot of hope for him in that program, but it's been a rough 2024. UCF, same thing. The Gus bus is heading toward the rest stop, and might permanently reside at the rest stop. Because if you remember the beginning of the year, we had our previews, and I had UCF winning the Big 12, and they may not make a bowl game. They did beat Arizona on Saturday, blew them out 56-12, but Arizona is not what anybody thought they would be this year either. But UCF sitting at 4-5. They will go under their win total. Vegas set it at 7.5. They can't make that mark. They're 2-4 in the Big 12, pretty much out of it in the Big 12. Chaos would have to ensue, but even then, I think they wouldn't be able to make it at this point. So very disappointed in UCF. I also, as part of my high expectations on UCF, said that KJ Jefferson would be a Heisman contender and, dare I say, finalist. I think he was a starter for 4 games before he got benched. So Cole takes exposed. Also, Carson Beck. Now, Georgia won. Yep, Pete agrees that I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's pull up the numbers. Georgia did end up beating Florida on Saturday, about what everybody expected, 34-20. But it was an ugly first half, to say the least, for Carson Beck. I said after the Clemson game, go ahead and give him the Heisman. And that might have been the worst claim that I made all season. As early as I made it after the Clemson game, I said, everybody else is playing for second. Just give Carson Beck the Heisman. He even said it after the game. He said, we've been really good when I'm not giving the ball to the other team. So I don't know I have some ideas about what the issue is, talking with some Georgia friends. He had his famous girlfriend to blame. Some say the Lamborghini. Chris Fowler even said during the game, is he the only holder in college football to drive a Lamborghini? Felt like a shot from Chris Fowler, but Cole takes exposed. And if you've seen Best Bets, this is no surprise. But hey, I won my best bet this week. Believe it or not,
you were the sole winner, I think, weren't you, Ralph?
Yeah.
Did you win?
No, I remember I went against my own team. They actually won a game.
That's right.
I went against my team and lost.
Yeah.
And they
well,
lost.
no, you won.
Well, you won the bet.
I won the bet.
Well, but what at what cost, Will? What was the cost?
Doesn't matter. Like I said, I need a corner to go check on that Auburn football program because it's been rough. But I'm not talking about them tonight.
13 minutes, 25 seconds, Ralph, was the timestamp. I did ask you today, how long would it take for Will to mention the Auburn football team? There we go. 13
That's the second time I
minutes.
mentioned it.
Second time.
That's second time. Well, I brought it up last time, so that is
Ralph brought it up this time.
Yeah, it is what it is. So we, unofficially still on the clock. Okay, let's talk a little bit though. I mean, we mentioned, Ralph, this on Saturday with Carson Beck. Like, people were talking on Twitter like he's terrible, he's awful. Look, I think he's in the middle of a nightmare. He's in a nightmare stretch of games. He's completely in his own head. It's not. Nothing is coming easy to him right now, if that makes sense. So, I think bottom line, like when you look at what Carson Beck is, if he fixes decision making, he's still the pro prospect that people thought he was in the beginning of the year. Like, that's still who he is. He has all the measurables. Now, is he surefire number 1 pick? No, but he's still a first round quarterback. It's the decision making, which is a massive piece to the puzzle that he would need. Clayton asks, is Carson Beck a bottom 5 quarterback? No, not even close. Not even close. I mean, I brought this up because a lot of Georgia Tech fans were kind of, just the awareness level of some of these people on social media is wild to me. Some people are talking about Carson Beck just being terrible or whatever. And I was like, y'all, Haynes King had a stretch of 9 interceptions in 5 games last year. Would you have said that he was awful? All I heard is that he was in the same statistical category as Jaden Daniels. That's all I kept hearing, pumping
Yeah.
out of the GTAA last year. So it's all relative, obviously, to who you are. I mean, yes, this looks like a massive underperformance, and it is to a certain extent, but Georgia's still winning. I think it speaks to the depth of that team, how good that team is in general, how good the defense is. And Ralph, we talked about it, like they don't have a full stable of running backs. They didn't have this in the Florida game with ETN going down. They literally had a guy that didn't even travel until this week score a touchdown, number 20 for Georgia. I don't even know who the kid was. But
James Phillips, I think.
Dwight Phillips. I have no clue what the
I think
kid's
it's
name
Dwight
is.
Phillips.
No clue. But I mean, if he
Dwight Phillips
fixes
Jr.
it, if he comes out of this funk, like if this upcoming weekend at Ole Miss he throws for 315 and 3 tutties, no picks, everyone's gonna be like, okay, like here's the Georgia that's unstoppable. So, Ralph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it on Saturday. I think you're right. He's in a nightmare stretch of games right now. Not performing to the top tier level of what we thought what he's possible of doing, but he's doing what is necessary to win games, and that's all Kirby cares about right now. Just win and go on to the next one. Forget what happened last week. Forget what happened. I mean, Florida's not bad.
No,
people don't understand. Florida's really not that bad. That's a whole cold take out of this whole entire podcast over here. Is we were wrong on Florida because the fact they're still even like alive at this point with all these injuries and who we thought they'd be this year is impressive enough. Shout out to Florida, played a great game against Georgia. But I go back to like when Stetson Bennett was there, and Bennett was not playing at the best level of football. They had a great run game at time. They had an amazing defense, so he didn't have to do a lot. But you go back to like 2023 or 2022 when he was there, and you watch him play. He stepped in the big games and made plays to win those games. That reminds me a lot of what Beck was doing this year. Is that in the big games he has to actually show up and play.
Yeah,
Gavin saying mute. I mean, Gavin, you're gonna get muted out of here in a second.
Yeeted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeeted.
No, Ralph, you bring up a good point. Before I go back to Will on this, I tweeted this out, and so people agreed with it. So if people agree with your take, then you're obviously what you're talking about. But it feels like Carson Beck's trying to play outside of himself a little bit. Will, do you feel like that? Because Georgia's, they don't have Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey, and that's a big piece to this. Like, they don't have those legit ones. But Dominic Lovett's not bad. Lawson Lucky's not bad. Like, the players they have around him are not bad players. I feel like he's trying to do way too much. Like, he's trying to do stuff he doesn't have to be the guy that throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns. They don't need him to be that. They need him to throw for 250, 275, throw for 2 touchdowns, and just let them. Like Kirby Smart, I don't think Kirby Smart cares about flash. Just go win football games and let's see what happens at the end of the year. But you mentioned you've talked to some people about it. Like, do you get that? Do you feel like he's trying to play outside of himself and make plays that aren't necessarily necessary?
Yeah, I think to a degree. I also think that some of the off the field stuff is getting to him. I think it's a combination of all of it. I mean, that's throwing a lot on. Was he 21, 22-year-old? I mean, you give him a Lamborghini, you give him a celebrity girlfriend, and he's still in college. Oh, by the way, you're going to be a first-round draft pick, and your team should compete for the national championship. That's a lot. That's a lot to put on anybody at any time. But I think it's a combination, and like you said, it's a nightmare stretch of games, and could be a bit of a hot take, like you said, if he comes out and throws for 350 against Ole Miss. But the hot take there is Ole Miss is maybe the worst defense they played in this stretch. This little stretch. Well, I guess outside of Mississippi State. Going back, Alabama, Texas.
Ole Miss's defense has great individual players. I don't think cohesively as a unit they're dominant.
Yeah,
I think they have the best pass rush in college football.
Yeah, they've been dominant recently.
18
what we talked about, Ralph, it was
games.
like 18 sacks the past 2 games for them.
I don't care who you're playing. That's 18 sacks in 2 games. That's impressive enough.
Yeah, I guess hot take. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's not a hot take. You're not. But you're not wrong. It's like Trey Amos is playing really well for them, but the other secondary players are not playing as well.
Right. Yeah. I really was thinking
okay year.
They've got a great front seven.
I was really thinking about their secondary. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Trey Amos is really good. That's probably the best spotlight on defense and secondary. But that front seven to me is just if Walter Nolan plays on Saturday, I don't think they've come out with what his injury was because he didn't play the rest of the game. He got hurt. against Arkansas, which didn't really matter when you beat the absolute crap out of someone like that.
Yeah.
This is true. I mean, it's what happened. But you're not wrong because that's probably going to be the worst defense they face besides UMass the rest of the year.
Yeah. Tyson
No offense to the Minutemen. They don't have the players.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, Clayton.
We'll talk more about this game on Wednesday. Obviously, a great doubleheader in the SEC. I think with Carson Beck, you just the kid's talented. Like you can't just say, well, he's not good anymore, because you don't lose the talent that you have. It's whether you can harness it mentally and you can harness it physically to be able to go out there and perform each and every single week. And I think we've come up with this standard of great quarterback play that's borderline elite. And if anyone's below elite, they're not good. I think of like a guy that I covered last year in Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had to be elite for that LSU team to even get to 9 wins. He played so consistent. That's why he won the Heisman Trophy. And in fairness, a lot of people, including Will, myself, I think all of us said it wouldn't surprise us if we saw Carson Beck in New York. And he hasn't played consistently enough to be in that conversation. So it's fair to say he's not that. That doesn't mean he's bad. This is still, I mean, I think he's still a top 15 quarterback in the country. Like I don't think he's fallen out of that list for me.
I saw a list today of the potential NFL draft picks, and it had all the quarterbacks this year. And obviously, Shadur Sanders is 1. They had Cam Ward 2, Quinn Ewers 3, and Beck was 4.
I'd take Beck over Ewers. Be honest with you, I might take Beck over.
Just because of pure approach potential. Yeah, and then your boy was at 5. Old Nussbus.
My boy.
Yeah, your boy.
Nussbus.
Yeah, old Nussbus.
I think with Carson Beck, it's a combination of all those things we talked about. And then, he lost 2 first-round receivers, and you look at their pass catchers, they don't have a round 1 or probably even round 2 guy.
Well, he also had 2 guys get ejected off the team over here.
Yeah, that too. But
yeah.
So I think Carson Beck's trying to do a little too much because of that to make up for that. But the concerning part is it's still happening through 8 games. I think that's the only thing you're concerned about.
Well, and to your point, Will, I mean, you just mentioned that we talked about like, okay, it's going to work itself out. Well, what if it doesn't? If it doesn't, then I think Georgia loses one of Ole Miss or Tennessee, and you're not in the playoff. Like that to me, that to me was where you could sit, and you're maybe a fringe playoff team or not even in it. So it could go either way. I mean, it's very much a roller coaster, I think. But I think this is mental. Like physically, he's still the same guy that he was coming out as one of the higher rated quarterbacks in his class. I think he was a high 4-star. Like kid's still a really good player. He just sometimes guys have nightmare stretches, and I think he's learning to grow. And you mentioned, Will, like wrote in a column today. I mean, it is very weird that Garrett Nussmeier is almost in the same boat of this. In Centuries, they're trying to play outside of themselves. There's little to no run game. I mean, ETN's good. Like ETN's a very good back, but they're not consistently running the ball. So then your quarterback goes into hero mode, and I think that's what he's trying to do. So it's go ahead
and timestamp it 23 minutes. Maybe sometimes quarterbacks have a nightmare 20 game stretch. Sometimes that happens.
A nightmare 2-season stretch.
Sometimes maybe people are just not good, and we have to be honest about it.
They also have a nightmare stretch where we don't run the running back in the second half.
Maybe sometimes quarterbacks have these nightmare stretches that are called careers, and we just figure out they're not very good.
And sometimes they just keep running it out there week in, week out. Let them play.
Sometimes people knew that. Sometimes people knew that before he even stepped on the field. I mean, that was a legitimate question.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's good.
The quarterback learns the creed.
I did want to speak to this real quick. UCF, I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to give you grace on your Georgia State thing. You never said they were going to be on fire this year. You just said he's going to build a good program there.
Right.
And I still think that's absolutely possible. They did get a decommitment today. And they've got a kid who's committed who's visiting Georgia Tech. Funny enough, which is going to be hilarious when ACC, fans of an ACC school try to troll a Sunbelt school because they're so poverty they can't even realize their own awareness. But it's they can't realize they ironic. It is what it is.
2-6. 2-6
they're not good.
Is disappointing, and kind of the way that they've gotten to 2-6. I mean, they've played poorly in some games that you expect them to be competitive in.
I know another Sunbelt team who's also
they did
very
they did beat Vandy.
2-6.
Ralph, we're not talking about.
You're right.
Well,
they did beat Vandy.
Ralph, no one. I mean, I love you. I'm glad you got Texas Tech on your mind, but we're not talking about Troy tonight. All right. No, that's good stuff though. All right, Ralph. Good Lord, Ralph. Someone's gonna have an epileptic seizure watching Ralph flash on and off the screen. Okay, Ralph. Here we go. You get to stand on business here, dude.
For once, I was actually somewhat right.
For as wrong as you were about NC State, throw the tortillas. You're right here,
tortillas.
baby. Here we go.
Look, Texas Tech this year, you know, at the beginning of the year had the 52-51 overtime win against Abilene Christian. Had no idea that they were going to be in contention in that game. You know, I thought they would be, you know, at least blow them out and walk away with an easy win and go to Washington State and possibly lose, which they did lose. And then proceeded to play probably one of the better teams offensively in the American Conference and beat them by 40+ points. Yeah, thank you for bringing the tortilla out, Bryce.
Now you got to eat it.
Yeah, now you eat it. I'll eat it right now. No, don't slap the tortilla. That's not how they do it.
My wife just came and she goes, "That's for my lunch tomorrow." Keep going.
Ralph, come on now.
But after a two-game slide against Baylor, which they played horrendously in, and then TCU, which they lost in a second half blunder with a quarterback going down. Come back, play at Iowa State, who was the favorite to win the Big 12, you know, all year long or the past 4 or 5 weeks. Upset Iowa State on the road, big win, find a way back in contention, and now they have the hardest stretch of their season, which is they got Colorado at home, Bryce, which I know that's your next conversation. They have at Oklahoma State, and they got West Virginia at home.
Why am I talking about Colorado?
It says your best best team of the week. My bad. My fault. I read it wrong. I was going down.
I got you.
What
did Clayton get banned for?
Don't worry about it.
He said he feels bad for business. He would hate for Ralph to stand on him.
Oh, Jesus.
And you see what Ralph's done. Ralph has got everybody scared to comment now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ralph.
Next time they won't get timed out.
I don't know how. I don't even know the difference. I don't know what you can do.
Well, I timed him out. If he got banned, I don't care.
It says he was banned.
Congratulations.
Audio listeners completely confused right now.
That's fine. We always have to ruin what I gotta say. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, so right now Texas Tech played a great game against Iowa State, a team that had a solid defense, a great offense. Looked like they were winning the Big 12. Everyone had them in BYU in the Big 12 championship game. They are still alive in this contention. We talked about at the beginning of the year, guys, is the Big 12 is on fight. They're going to beat up on each other all year long. BYU right now looks like they're the head in contention. Undefeated right now. They don't have to play a Colorado, a Kansas State, or a Iowa State or Texas Tech at the end of the season. They had the easiest stretch against Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston. They're probably in the Big 12 championship game. It's for the second place team I'm worried about, because can Iowa State win out? Can Colorado win out? And can Kansas State win out? If those teams win out, Texas Tech's completely out. But if one of those three teams loses again, I think Texas Tech makes it in there.
You ready for my hot take? And I was going to hold on to this when we got to our playoffs. This is a glorified G5 conference. I think there's a legitimate take if you were to power rank the top 15 teams in the country, there wouldn't be one Big 12 team in it. I think you can make a case for that. I think if you power ranked and you went to the top 15, you can make a case, an argument. Not saying it has to be this way, but you can make a case that not one Big 12 team would be a top 15 team in the country in a power ranking or power rating system. I think this is a G5 conference.
I agree. It'd be predominantly SEC Big 10, and then you have maybe like two Big.
Yeah, you'd have like Miami. I don't think SEC is a top 15 team.
No, but you have Miami and then probably
Wake Forest,
Notre Dame, maybe. What you say, Wake Forest?
Yeah, shout out Wake Forest.
Is this baseball?
Yeah. Gavin says, I think BYU has a slight argument. Yeah, no, I think you can make an argument. I just don't think you can say for a fact that BYU is a top 15 team in the country if you take everything to equation. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Ralph, on that. But
BYU's only big win is against Kansas State at home. They beat them 38-9.
Oh yeah,
but Kansas State's they have one good week, play horrible next week. Yeah, that's just how the Big 12 really is.
Well, in the Big 12 in general, I mean, look, Texas Tech did get a big win. That's huge for them.
The two game slide was the hard part. This is hard about their season. That's what I talked about earlier when you walked away.
I like Texas Tech. I like the Red Raiders. They've got a good thing going there, and big stuff for them. Will, any thoughts on the Red Raiders? Well, we're going to talk more about Texas Tech and the Big 12, obviously, coming up here. But do you have any closing remarks on this?
Just a rebuttal to your hot take about the Big 12. There is a colleague of yours that does power ratings every week.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him this week.
He's got.
Same this weekend. You're excited.
No, I'm not. Let's
see. He's got 4 Big 12 teams in his top 25 and 1 in the top 15 and 1 at 16. So just for reference, just to reference.
Is BYU in the one in the top 15 and Iowa State number 16?
Iowa State is 14. Kansas State is 16. BYU 19.
It's obviously baked into the fact that they send him gear. That's why.
Pete,
I'm not a big fan because it ruins my national CBS opportunities this week. So, because they're going to send his
that is unfortunate
down here. No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep rocking. That's good stuff. Gavin says they beat SMU. That's awesome. Not another non-top 15 team. So that's cool. Now I just said that, and I'm going to transition to my takeaway. SMU's not a top 15 team power ranked wise, but Ralph, what are they? They are a real playoff contender.
Boom!
Look, I mean, someone went on a
pony up. Pony up.
Look, this is okay. We have been berated because we said Florida State was going to be good. Berate every single media entity that you want to because they all said it. How many people stood on business back in April and said, "Hey, this team is going to commit. They're going to commit." I don't know what I just said. They're going to compete. They're going to be good in the ACC. Now, look, I know that their schedule hasn't been, they haven't played Clemson, Miami. They're not going to play those teams. I get that. But they are taking care of business after a slow start. They are the definition of a team that has evolved from week one. Fellas, we watched them in that week 0 game against, Nevada? And it looked bad. Like, it looked really bad there for a second. Kevin Jennings, Ralph and I talked about this on Saturday night. Kevin Jennings has been, he's ignited this offense. Rhett Lashley's been able to really open things up. They've got a good offense. They blasted a Pitt team. They play really good defense by ACC standards. I mean, this is a good football team. And, they're making a case since now they beat Pitt and Clemson has fallen off, and we'll tease this. They're making a case for the ACC to get 2 teams in. Like, if SMU and Miami go undefeated into the ACC title game, I don't have a problem with a 12-1 SMU team being in the playoff. That's a legitimate conversation. So I really like this. Now I want to point this out too. Sam says beat Miami in the ACC, chip SMU, then we can talk. Then we can talk about what? They would have gone undefeated. I don't understand what the measuring stick for a good team in the ACC is. This is regardless of schedule, this is the top 5. It's the top 5, top 6 ACC team. That's good. They're above average. They're above average ACC team. And so what does that make them with their current schedule, their current roster, and the way they're playing? It makes them a real playoff contender. That's what it is. Dr. Bob says, I hate SMU for all times they ruin my AAC title hopes or experience, but they have the bags. There are literally a lot of wealthy alums at the school. Rhett Lashley is not a guarantee to leave. That's also something. So I talked with someone today about this. They're getting ready to, for lack of better words, no pun intended, to pony up the money to keep Rhett Lashley in Dallas.
He already knows the creed.
He does know the creed.
He already knows the creed, but those SMU boosters, they're not
becoming career suicide at this point. Why not? Yeah. Like, here's the legitimate thing, and I just want to say this. We'll get out of here. Why would you leave SMU? You're in a conference that you've entered year one as you're going to be near the tops of the conference. You have the money to be one of the top spenders in the conference. You are in a market that's going to be attractive to guys coming to play. If you're at Lashley, I mean, guys, you can be a top 4 seed at SMU because you're in the ACC until the ACC folds in 3 years. But in all seriousness, like it's going to really, you're going to have to be one of the big programs for him to leave. And I just don't know. I love SMU. I think they're a real playoff contender. I've already said it. If they make the ACC title, LSU doesn't, I'm really going to strongly go with, I might go to Charlotte for that game because that's going to be a lot of fun. I like SMU. So, Will, directed to you first. I mean, do you believe they're a real playoff contender? I think we have to start talking about it. Like they dominated.
Start talking about it. We've been talking about it. Sam, just say you're a hater. Just say you're a hater.
Love you, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for watching, but you're hating on SMU. Because I've watched Indiana. Indiana is boring Big Ten football, and they have also feasted on a weak schedule.
Which
so has SMU. So has SMU, but SMU does it with style, and that's what it takes when you have a bad schedule. You have to do it with style.
No, dude, that's rubbing it in, and that's mean. Riley Leonard, he tried to score more points, and it would have been poetic justice. That's mean. Loser. Anyways.
SMU does it on both sides of the ball. I don't know what more can be said. Everybody knows how I feel about Rhett Lashley, the protege. I wish Auburn could make it happen and bring him back, but I don't see it happening because he's the real deal. I am surprised at how quickly he's found success at the level that he's had the success. But just to be talking about them being a playoff contender, I really thought it would take a little bit longer.
They also lost a decent amount in the portal. Like we need to talk. Like I don't mean to interrupt you, but like the offensive line was rated in the portal. So yeah.
They did. But they're really good. They're really good. And it feels good. It feels good to be right about something for a change.
Also,
and I want to say this too.
The loss to BYU they had.
That's a good loss.
They lost by 3 points. They lost by 3 points, and I mean it was just a back and forth barn burner where they started when Preston Stone and Ken Jennings both played.
Well, I want to say this too. For people who say they're fine, they're okay. You don't. SMU's what 8-1. They're 8-1 this season. Is that the record? You don't luck into an 8-1 season. No. You don't luck into 8 wins. You have to be doing something right. And Rhett Lashley has found the quarterback that he needs. He has found this offense is clicking now. This is a high-profile offense that he has in Dallas. And so it's credit to him for being able to take what was a good roster, got torched in the portal a little bit, make some additions, and they have hit on all cylinders ever since, week 2 or 3 of the season. I mean, I love what SMU and Rhett Lashley have done.
Yeah.
SMU's 8-1. We mentioned they played at Nevada, week 0, having to go on the road.
Yeah.
Blew out Houston Christian, lost close to BYU at home, hung 66 on TCU.
Remember last year? Remember we told they can't beat a Power 5 team last year?
What the heck does that have anything to do with this year?
Well, that's what they told us last year or earlier. Yeah. They couldn't beat one last year. That was the whole thing of them not being good. They said they can't beat Power 5 teams. Well, they did. There you go. They beat Power 5.
I think what has separated SMU and shows that they're legit is that 3-game road stretch at Louisville, where they won 34-27, at Stanford, which they blew out as they should, and then back to the East Coast to play Duke, where they won a tight game 28-27. But that's what separates it. That 3-game road stretch right there, and you think about the travel, which is insane to think that was 3 Atlantic Coast Conference games. But that's what has separated them. And then Pitt, which a couple of weeks ago I went on about Pitt, my issues with Pitt. And they reared their ugly head against SMU.
Yeah,
but SMU is good.
I mean,
watch them play; they're good.
That game against Duke, we forgot completely talk about something in that game. Is that that was 2 former co-coaches together in that game because Lashley was under Manny Diaz when he was in Miami at that time. I completely forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah, and
he was.
Diaz was head coach.
Wow. And Duke's defensive coordinator was SMU's defensive coordinator last season.
So
a lot of similarities.
I forgot that they coached together, and I was like, well, now I know why they know each other, and that was kind of a closer game. He's seen him coach for so long, and it was just a good game in general. You watched it; it was just a really good defensive matchup. And it was just it was good.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch.
Also, we've talked about this so much, and like I've give credit where credit's due. It's hard to go on the road and win. Like, let's stop
It's
acting
3
like
weeks
it's a
in a row.
foregone conclusion. You know, I saw people saying like, you know, this one podcast said that SMU wasn't good because they should have lost to Duke, but they didn't. And like, if we're seeing anything this year, the ability to go on the road and survive, you have to give people credit for that. Like, I don't care how you did it, you won. Okay. So now they're a playoff contender because they won. And Duke's not a bad football team. Like Duke's a well-coached football team. They're very solid. I feel like they're, you know, Malik Murphy's grown up before our eyes too. So I like SMU. And then, you know, you guys just pointed out too. Look, they lost some offensive linemen in the portal in the spring. Okay. They lost some guys. Their starting quarterback, who had been kind of their stalwart for the past 3 seasons, it just doesn't work out. He's not the same after the injury he had last year. So you insert a guy who really, he's electric, probably a higher ceiling, but he isn't necessarily the fine-tuned product you want. That's clicked. And like you just mentioned, Ralph, yeah, they're not elite defensively, but they're pretty dang good, and they lost their DC last year. So I mean, it just goes to show you, like, you've got a really good staff out there in Dallas, and so I like SMU. I hope it's SMU Miami in the ACC title game. That would be a fun game to watch. It really would be. And I'll say this: it will be one of the more fun ACC title games that we've had in a decent amount of time too. Like in terms of watchability, that would be that'd be a good one. So, yeah, SMU pony up, baby. We love it. Okay, fellas, we got 20 minutes left here on the show, so if y'all are good, we'll roll into our playoff predictions. And you good? Everyone good with that?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Here we go. Let's roll into this. So Ralph, I'll bring it up and I'll set us up here how we're going to do it. Here is Ralph's predictions. Now, how we're doing this is we're doing this based off of what you think tomorrow would look like. Like if the season ended tomorrow and this was the final thing, this is what you think it would look like. It's not a projection on what's going to happen. It's based off of what tomorrow will look like. So Ralph, kind of walk us through. I mean, obviously people can see the teams. Remember, we got audio listeners. So kind of walk us through your 1 through 12 and why you decided on some of the teams. And like we did last time, Will and I might ask a question each after you get done.
Well, yeah, I think the top 4 is basically self-explanatory. I got Oregon win the Big Ten. I think they, you know, the win they had against Ohio State was big at home, obviously. But then Ohio State's just kind of, they look great against Penn State. But I think they just kind of haven't played to their full ability. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to be in that championship game against them if they're playing them. They're got to be Indiana in 2 weeks. I got Georgia winning the SEC still. Carson Beck will overcome what he's doing right now. He's too good of a quarterback not to. They're still a solid team defensively. I mean, just overall, just a unite group of defensive players. They don't have one that slacks off. Yeah, I made a comment on Saturday about Dan Jackson. I still believe he's really good. He's just a headhunter. Miami's looked so poised offensively this year. High-powered offense. You know, you're not stopping them offensively. You may get 2 or 3 drives occasionally when they just maybe mess up, maybe throw an interception, go 3 and out. It rarely happens with this offense. Cam Ward's got it. Chris Ball's got his defense getting a little better week by week. Great second half adjustments against Duke. For BYU's got the Big 12 lot, in my opinion. I know I said about Texas Tech earlier, but the way their season plays out, they have an easy chance to win. Dr. Bob said Arizona State's the only game you see them sleeping up again. That one in Utah this weekend, that's a big rivalry game for them. Big
Utah's
hatred.
also coming off a bye week, so that's huge. The whole
big hatred in that matchup. I did not know how much they hated each other until I saw they had signs during the game last week saying we won Utah, even though they weren't even playing them until 2 more weeks. That right there shows me how much they despise each other. But they're a really good team. I know what you said about the power index. If you made a power ranking, it wouldn't be that high. I agree with that. But they'll win the Big 12. They'll get a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Ohio State still with 2 losses. The win at Penn State's huge for them, and losing to the same team twice is not a big deal to me. A team that's going to be the number 1 seed lost them on the road and a neutral site. I'm not mad about that. I put them at 5. I still think they're still up in the top 5. You know.
Gotcha.
In Boise State, I got them winning being the at-large bid for a group of 5. I love Tulane. I love Army. I just don't see them beating Boise State with this rank with Ashton Genty. And if you've paid attention to Boise State lately, I know. I watched the game at the same time Gavin was watching their night on Friday night. You can stop Ashton Jeanty all you want in college football. All you want. You can stack 9 in the box and just and pray for them to make them throw it. Maddox Madison is not afraid to sling that thing.
No, they're more than just him.
Yeah, 24-32 for 307 and 4 touchdowns on Friday night. This team is still very good, whether or not Jeanty goes for 180 or not. Yeah. They're a solid program at 12. You know, whoever they play at 5 is a dangerous team. Notre Dame and SMU. I got SMU a little higher because I think they make the ACC championship game. They lose a close one to Miami. They'll get a higher ranking when they get up there, and I think they'll put them at 8 and 9 because an SMU Notre Dame matchup would be outstanding to me.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I really do, because that would be a game in Dallas where Notre Dame has to go on the road and win to stay in the playoff. This will show me if Notre Dame's real or not.
Hey, they've done it once, baby. They've already done it one time. Yeah.
Indiana 11. Look, I know what I said Saturday about Indiana. They haven't played much. I said it last week, actually, didn't I? On Wednesday, that Indiana's it's been an easy schedule. They have to win Saturday. They have to beat Ohio State to really to make a statement. They don't have a statement win, in my opinion, but if they lose a close one to Ohio State in the shoe on Saturday or in a few weeks, I got them making the playoffs. It'll be a 1-loss Big Ten team that's a third place team. They're still good. They can go on the road, but they got to play at Texas. Texas still very talented. Quinn Ewers, had a rough game against Georgia. Yeah, that Georgia game was tough to watch for Georgia, but for Texas, but I felt like they're still in the game the whole entire time, until the very end. I just feel, that's that second half, in the third to fourth quarter was when it really got out of hand. In my opinion, I thought, the first half was bad, but Texas still found a way to keep it close. They're still a good team. They still got some tough games left to play. A&M being the last one of the year for them will be a fun matchup to bring back that old Big 12 matchup a long time ago. And Bryce, I got your LSU Tigers winning out this year.
Ralph, I would pay so much money for this to happen. So much money for this to happen.
And this is why I have this matchup, Bryce. Because if this is possible, we get a Georgia Penn State matchup or a Georgia LSU matchup in the next round.
Ralph, no, you get LSU at Penn State.
Yeah, I know.
Mo Bamba playing continuously.
Well, they play Fiend.
When they play Fiend, and it's 12 degrees, and it's freezing my butt off.
Y'all keep saying that. I don't even know what Fiend is.
Well, I can't play it, so.
Well, you're also.
But look, I have LSU. LSU is a good football team. If they were fully healthy, Bryce, I don't know what this team would be. I really do. You lost your best defensive player at the beginning of the year, hands down.
Well, they've been better because of it, but
I know.
The committee. The committee cares a lot about injuries.
Yes. You have no running back.
It's never going to end for Florida State.
No. Your running back right now, who is your best player on offense that's not a receiver or quarterback, Caden Durham, who is a true freshman with about 14 broken fingers and toes, whatever it is.
But he built like a pit bull.
Yeah, it's just he is walking on glass basically. His foot it hurts so bad. Yeah. They're a good team, and Penn State. Look, I'll tell you one thing: that game, James Franklin he's a good coach, but he can't be Ohio State. That's just what it is. He has one win against Ohio State this career. That's it. You have played him what? 1-16? Is that what it was?
1-12, 16, and the one we talked. It was one. Yeah,
with a blocked field goal
with the AP top 5 teams. Yeah,
yeah. He needs to reevaluate what he's done in those games before playing in this playoff game. If they make,
he doesn't need to be fired. There's nobody else that's going to be better that's going to be at Penn State.
Well, I saw someone the other day say a good option.
Kurt Signetti?
Yeah. That'd be the only answer.
Get sweater vest
Hugh
boy
Freeze.
away.
Hugh Freeze. But yeah, this is
I'll
my,
send the
my
moving
top 12.
Be close.
Obviously, this is what I have right now. There's so much can happen in the next 2 days, next week, next month. Everything. You have injuries that happened in practice week, and then someone's season's over.
But you're projecting this off of this is your projection for
that's what I'm saying. Right.
Yeah. No, I don't hate it. It's different than mine.
You hated my first one. That's what you really hated.
Yeah, no, I did. I will say this, and we're running out of time, so I want to keep it quick. My only thing is, Ralph, actually, it's not even a question. College football fans should love Ralph because there's no SEC bias in this. I mean, there's 3 SEC teams. It's a healthy mix. Like, honestly, you've got an independent team, you've got a G5 team, you've got a nice mix of like some teams that are fun, Indiana, SMU. Like, I think Ralph is speaking for the people of college football. So Ralph, you're not a Republican or a Democrat. You're speaking for the people. You're running as the Green Party. And so I appreciate that, what you brought to the table here. Now, Gavin asked, what is Penn State's signature win? Probably West Virginia Mountain Mama, to be honest with you. So, there's that. Garrett Green, top 15 quarterback. Remember that? Good God. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Penn State's signature win is. You're just not going to leave out an 11-1 Penn State. They're just not going to do that. So, yeah. Well, you got one. You have one question. What do you have? You have a big question for Ralph?
Illinois. Sorry.
Ralph is clearly not for the people. He doesn't care about the troops.
Well, I had him in there also, Will, and he would let me keep him in there.
Okay,
so.
This is the thing. Ralph put 2 G5 teams in here, and you have
if Army goes undefeated, why not? Just have some fun.
Why not? Because they're not going. They're not good. They're not that good.
Excuse me?
They're not that good.
You haven't watched. You haven't watched.
He doesn't believe in Bryson Taylor. He fights for our country. He does not care about Mo Bamba and Happy Valley.
Rock Dweller.
They're not good. They're not that good. It's a fun story, but when they play a team that actually has real players,
Comrade Bryce over here.
There you go.
Probably
Army's not even going to play Tulane
in the AAC title game.
It's going to be Army and Navy. AAC
Navy
title.
ain't gonna.
Navy has lost their food.
They're going to be 11-1.
They have 2 losses.
They got 2 losses.
Who else they lose to?
Notre Dame. They got blanked by Navy.
That's not a conference game. That's not a conference game.
You said 11-1.
But you said they're going to be 11-1.
Yeah, I didn't know they lost.
That's a rock dweller.
You didn't know that they got just rolled over.
Go.
I forgot.
Folded.
I forgot.
IU will be the #1 country in the team for the year. We do not encourage hard drugs. Average Auburn fan. Navy will surrender the Trident Tulane. That is a wild trophy, by the way, Ralph. I think this was like during your vacation that you were taking from the show. Will and I pulled up. There's like an official trophy for the Navy Tulane game. It's crazy. It's like the nautical Trident. And Ralph, the only picture you're gonna find is some random Facebook group. It's wild. So Will is the Democrat of the group. Well, he's a coroner, so he's not running for. He is. Jonesy, you missed this, by the way.
Examiner.
You missed. Can someone please tell me? We still haven't gotten a clear answer on this. If you're running for coroner, why do you have a party affiliation? I'm going to tweet that after the show. Can someone tell me?
I feel like Jonesy might know the answer to that.
He's probably the coroner of Bremen or Bowden, not Bowden. Oh God, not Bremen. He lives in Bowden. Bloodlust between those 2 cities all along the I-20 rivalry.
Is this thing real?
Yes, it's real. It's 110% real. It's crazy. Okay. Well, that's good stuff. Okay, let's go back here, and I'm going to pull up.
Cool
I guess we'll go to you real quick. Does that sound good?
He said Bremen. You a-hole.
Butthole.
You dingleberry. All right, here's Will's.
What? Why are you saying it like that?
Because I understand, like, we're near Fort Benning. I get it. But it's just
Navy don't have 3 losses in conference play.
Navy lost to Rice.
They got to play
Tulane and Rice
Army.
Got the interim bump.
They got to play
They
Tulane
definitely got the
Army.
Okay, I'm gonna put.
And they also got the double weather delay bump in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that was nuts. You know why Will is putting Army in here? It's because he's got an Airbnb where people go to graduation down at Fort Benning, and he doesn't want to get trounced. That's why he's trying
That's
to.
not true.
It's
because they're better than Boise State.
I don't know if they are.
Ashton Jeanty is a heck of a player. Army's got 4 Ashton Jeantys.
Oh my!
Starting with the quarterback Bryson Daly.
Just say what you're going to say, please.
Watch
Just
Army play.
walk us through the playoff, please.
Yeah, I think Ralph and I have the same top 4. Oregon 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, BYU 4.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
What?
You know what I'm saying? I think we all do. I think we're chalk on that.
Ohio State, the 5 seed.
Timeout, Will. I'm sorry. This is great.
You.
I understand what the definition of it is, but why do you have what's the platform you're running on? Like, why would you need a party affiliation? I understand something like this, you have to have it, but what is the difference between a Democratic corner and a Republican corner? Someone tell me that. No one has been able to tell me that.
Jones, he's like 20 minutes or about 45 minutes late.
Anyways, continue, Will. Continue.
Ohio State, the 5 seed. I mean, if they lose twice to Oregon, and those are their only losses, I still think they're the fifth seed.
Now that's
a great comment.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
6, I have Texas. I mean, again, this is just how we think the bracket will look tomorrow. Then Texas at 6, Penn State at 7. Ralph and I have the same 7-10 matchup. Penn State and LSU is great helmet matchup. I am hoping that comes to fruition at the end of the season, because that would be a fun game to watch.
Sorry, Mom, I'm not coming to family Christmas because I'll be in Happy Valley.
Going back to Texas as my 6 seed, I've got them playing SMU, the ACC runner-up, as the 11 seed, and then my 8-9 game, Tennessee and Indiana. Big Ten sneaking Indiana in there. Why is Boise State not in there? Because I just said Army's better. Watch them play, and you'll see. I'll say it. I'll repeat it because I'm standing on it. Ashton Jeanty's great. Army's got 4 Ashton Jeanty's. So watch them play. Army is a unit. Army's a wagon. They've got Bryson Day. I'm telling you, if Bryson Daly is not in New York for the Heisman ceremony, just quit giving the award out, because he is the best, in my opinion, the best player in college football.
I can go and tell you right now, he's not going to be there.
Yeah, because they run the option, which is the way God intended.
Y'all don't know this, but like, if we would have been a little bit older and like had a podcast at the time when Paul Johnson, Will probably would have been the biggest Georgia Tech fan there is. And like, he liked Georgia Tech back then. Yeah.
That Paul Johnson, his name was thrown around for the Auburn job. I wanted him to get it. This guy has no clue what he's talking about. Yeah, okay.
At least he can make a throw from third to first.
That's right. At least I can field a ground ball.
Don't you live in Midland? If so, go vote for Acorn tomorrow. My college roommate.
I
got my ballot right here. I've got a Midland address. Tell me who that person is. Is that the Pine Mountain?
If you drive anywhere in Midland, Georgia, you see his name everywhere. Yeah. It's everywhere.
Bunch of signs. Jonesy definitely.
Remember Peanut? Absolutely agreed.
Jonesy definitely contributed to that campaign, but he won't contribute to the Crowded Booth campaign.
Yeah, Jonesy, we just want to know where. Bryce, how can you still vote in Georgia? Because I'm not going to pay the insurance here in Louisiana. It's ridiculous. So I kept everything in Georgia. Okay, so here's your playoff. Like, yeah, we I mean, it is what it is. Okay, my big question is, man, that 8-9 game, a lot of people are going to be seeing that, on their channel guide, and they're just going to be looking like, basketball. Is this a primetime basketball matchup that we're about to watch? Like, is this like old school Bruce Pearl against Tom Crean? Like, what are we about to watch right here?
Okay, first of all, how dare you? Second of all,
yeah, Tom Crean. Oh, what an intense guy. He violated me in my hand.
What?
Just clip.
What?
Just
pause.
Somebody clip that. Okay, Army Ohio State in Columbus. Didn't they play
what do you
last
think?
year?
Remember that story? Well, what do you think?
What do you think? Oh God, it sounds like the ugliest Week 1 neutral site game ever.
That is definitely the Duke's Mayo kickoff.
That's
100%.
or that's the Bristol Motor Speedway kickoff. That's what
Oh
that game is.
yes.
Yes.
I don't really have a lot of questions. I mean, I understand. I don't agree with your 12 seed take, but I mean, I'm fine with this. This is cool to me. I don't have any big issues with this.
I mean, I don't either because Will and I have a lot of the same matchups in this situation, and some of the same teams. I mean, I don't have Indiana or I don't have Tennessee in there. I think Tennessee loses to Georgia, and I think that puts them out. So
Matt Hubbard says, "Wait, the first round is on campus, right? Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yes, it is.
yes, because that 7-10 matchup is going to happen, and Bryce is going to watch Happy Valley in action.
You look at my playoff, that won't be happening.
Well, let's throw it up there, Bryce.
No,
Tulane
they
needs to-
don't, Dr. Bob. Tulane just needs to beat Army.
What are the Clayton? All what Clayton wants to know is he's asked who is Brinkey voting for. He says, what are these least locks on the election? The dude is just yapping in the chat to nobody because nobody's talking
He
back
says
to him.
thoughts on Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year, and a real American.
Oh God. Okay. Well, there we go.
He
That's
was
fine.
born in America.
He was
He's a real American.
Matt says Clayton's comment made me serious. We were going to miss a playoff game in Neyland. Oh no. Doesn't college basketball start tonight?
Started at 12 o'clock today.
It did. LSU women playing right now against somebody. They'll beat the crap out of
That
them.
Jacksonville
sounds
State
terrible.
put 112 on LaGrange today.
Jacksonville State played LaGrange.
112 to 48 was the final.
That's about how I expect the LaGrange song by ZZ Top to perform in a basketball game.
Yeah. Well, ESPN doesn't recognize LaGrange, so it's LA-Grange. So
No shot.
well, it's LA. Sorry, it's LA space Grange.
Spat.
Sorry,
Spash.
space. I'm trying
That's
to
going to
read
be our
something
new
that's-
word. It's not a space or a dash.
Who is William Peace? That is not a real college.
Sounds like a revolutionary general. Like, who is
Dude, Davidson beat William Peace today. That's a boxing match, 100%. That's a boxing match. You can't.
That's a cricket match.
Oh, hey, big win for Atlanta United the other night, Will.
Yeah,
Stop.
that was kind of crazy. I don't know why they've waited until the season's over.
Jonesy, for as much as he's talked to me, he just refuses to use my real name. Did you see West Georgia played real life Bishop Sycamore out of Cali Saturday, won 88-12. Go read about crazy. They brought 55 people, coaching staff, and all in football. Shout out Mercer Bears, by the way. Massive win. They're going to be a top 8 seed in the FCS playoffs, probably.
Oh
Suck
my
it,
God, they did.
Stanford.
It was football, Bryce.
Who they? What's the team name?
Lincoln, California. That's what it says.
They just played a school called Lincoln, California.
I'm fucking into it, dude.
That's not real, dude. Okay.
They beat 88-12.
South Florida beating 21 Florida right now. I'm just glad Castleton's gone. I can't. If there's one thing that you need to know about me in college basketball, the big man down low pisses me off.
Hey, all of that junk you were talking about, Zach Edey, that he might win Rookie of the Year. He's playing like the Rookie of the Year the first 2
He
weeks.
falls off a cliff.
Good grief, dude.
UCF beats Texas A&M. Crazy. Okay, let's do mine.
Insane. This is NCAA stats over here.
My playoff. So here's mine, and mine's actually very different than y'all's. I think mine's wrong.
Oh.
I don't know. I think I did mine, and I don't know why. Clayton says 88-12 sounds like the upcoming Georgia Tech UGA game.
I will say this. They, Lincoln scored with 8 minutes on the clock. 8:44.
Is it a person or is it like an actual team?
No,
Like
it's a
we
school. It says
confirmed
Lincoln.
this-
It says Lincoln. It's all it says Lincoln, and it puts
They
CA
have a
next to it.
website?
I'm about to look into it, but I'll tell you this. They scored on a 21-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. Georgia State blocked the extra point, ran it for 83 yards for 2 points. So at one point, the game was 6-2.
They've only played 3 games.
Dude, this is not a real school.
Oh, what? Their AD is their head coach.
Oh,
See,
if you click on their
also,
page,
Their head coach is in their 4th season, and he is 3-28.
Hey, the football coach is the athletic director, also as God intended. Some schools still do it right.
I try to go to the
I don't think they're doing
page.
anything right, Will.
Hold on, Bryce.
3-28.
This is the athletic page when you pull it up.
No shot. No shot. No.
Look at the picture. Look at the picture, guys.
That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
I just want you to know that's what I pulled up when I hit Lincoln, California athletics. That's what it pulled up. Lincoln University.
The real life Bishop Sycamore. Bishop Sycamore was real life.
They were definitely real life. Okay, here we go. Here's mine. Real quick run through. I got Oregon, Georgia, Miami, BYU. We were talking about this earlier. Is there a case where an undefeated ACC champion Miami could jump a 1-loss SEC champion Georgia? Maybe. I think they'd have to dominate. Like, they'd have to go out and beat Tech 56-10. They'd have to go out and win the rest of their games, just absolutely just pulverize opponents. They'd have to kill
Why
SMU.
did you say that like it couldn't happen?
Well, it's a noon kickoff in Atlanta, and Big Boy is going to be performing at 10 a.m.
Big boy. Who?
Yeah, Big Boy. You don't know who Big Boy is? Ralph, you know who Big Boy is, right?
The rapper?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, time out. Who else would I be referring to as the Big Boy other than the rapper? Is that like our friend? Like, I mean, who would that be?
You never know, man. You never know.
Okay,
Our
I got
friend.
Boise State as the 12 seed. I've got Ohio State as the 5 seed. 9-8 game for me. I mean, I've got Alabama going 10-2, getting into the playoff. I've got Indiana as the 8 seed. I like them. I've got Tennessee as the 11 seed. I think they're the last SEC team to sneak in here over LSU. I got Tennessee going to Texas. So you will see, in my opinion, at least one SEC game in the first round. So then just
The comments are popping off.
don't ban them. Number 10 Penn State versus number 7 SMU, which actually be a really fun game. I think, in my opinion, Penn State SMU. And so that's kind of my playoff. Any questions, comments, concerns?
If Alabama's in the playoff, the sport is dead. They are terrible.
Well, they're probably going to beat LSU this weekend.
They'll have to do
Buddy,
it.
we got a
They'll have
hurricane
to, they'll
coming.
have to
You know what?
overcome 200 yards of penalties.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? It's going to be 83 degrees and torrential downpour. And if Alabama's smart, they're going to take a page out of Vince Dooley's book back in the 80s. Herschel right, Herschel left, Herschel up the middle. Jalen right, Jalen left, Jalen up the middle, and run it down LSU's throat. That's what I would do.
No, because if you run the ball, you're not cool. And you're evidently not good if all you do is run the ball, as evidenced by y'all's playoff brackets.
I thought you were about to say something about Auburn. Honest to God, I thought we were going to Auburn there.
Yeah, I am an Auburn fan, and Alabama's terrible. But it doesn't take an Auburn fan to see that they're not good.
Does Auburn have a chance against Alabama?
Nope.
Jason
Auburn
Campbell
barely
has
has a chance against Louisiana Monroe. Look, I texted y'all.
Here we
I think it
go,
was
Will.
yesterday.
Ralph. Clip it. Start
I said
108.
I cannot wait for Saturday to text y'all and mark myself safe from Auburn football, because the bye week could not come at a better time. Auburn desperately. Auburn needs these 2 weeks to get ready for General Booty in Louisiana Monroe.
Auburn doesn't have a chance against Lincoln. Ralph, the fact that you pulled it up and it said not even 404 no error, but the fact that
I
we saw
found the
this
Twitter page, by the
stick
way.
figure on the screen.
I want you to read. I'm gonna read the bio out to you. The official Twitter account for the Lincoln University (in parentheses California) football. Hashtag
What's
town.
the mascot?
They are the Oaks.
Wait, they're what?
The Oaks. OAKS. Oaks.
Okay, because the trees out there. Okay, I got you.
Their
I'm tracking.
hashtag is hashtag TownBiz.
What?
Hashtag TownBiz.
Town biz.
I mean, I don't know how to explain this to you.
How many games have they played?
I will get to that. This is what I'm looking at.
They're an independent division FCS school.
FCS.
Yeah, because they played West Georgia.
Georgia's
played,
FCS.
Yeah, they moved up to their FCS now.
They have played.
Okay.
I don't know who they played. Colorado or
The Oats, the Quaker.
They played the College of Idaho. The Yotes. They played.
Wait, the Oats and the Yotes.
Yeah,
The Yotes.
they played Northern Arizona.
I've heard of them.
Southeastern or Southern Oregon, I guess. Missouri S&T. Weber,
S&T?
Yeah, S&T.
Missouri S&T. What is that? What does that mean?
I don't know. I guess they're the miners because there's a big mining pickaxe as a mascot or on logo. They played Weber International.
Oh, not the fighting Damian Lillards at Weber State.
They had about a week.
Okay.
Missouri
University of Science and Technology.
They played
Well,
Lincoln.
that's Georgia Tech.
They played Lincoln. Don't know
Wait, they
who
played who?
They played Lincoln. They played themselves.
Gavin has hit the nail on the head.
Wait,
These are all teams that Brian Harson's assistants came from.
We know who they played next the week after.
Ref, where'd you find the schedule?
On their main Twitter page.
Dude, they don't even this. I'm gonna email them. I want to get them on the podcast.
They had a bye week. They played Northeastern State. They played West Georgia. They have Mercyhurst next weekend or this upcoming weekend, and then they play FMU, whatever that stands for. Not FAMU, FMU. Whoever that is.
Matt says Notre Dame beats Lincoln.
Francis Marion University.
Francis Marion? No, I'm familiar with Francis Marion. They're in South Carolina.
This is a made
Francis
up
Mario. Dude, I'm buying.
Or maybe Florida Memorial University. Oh, it might be Florida Memorial University.
FAMU without the agriculture.
Hey, FMU had a big win on homecoming against Ave Maria, 37-10.
Isn't that a song? Ave Maria.
Oh God, why?
What has this show turned into?
Town business. Hashtag town business.
They're called the Ave Maria Gyres. I'm sure I butchered that. GYRENE.
Should we watch the recruitment video?
I've got it right here. Ralph. I'm watching. Let's do it.
Gavin, I'm there.
Ralph, there's no. Give me a second.
Say it. I know what you want to say. Because I don't know what else to deposit.
Y'all need to see. This needs to go into the all-time crowded booth closing. This is amazing. I'm Ralph. Are you ready to hear the song?
Can I stop? Can we stop real quick? I have to explain something to you. I'm looking at on their main page. There, Bryce. If you look at the top of the screen, that main page, there is a thing that says deposit. It's the tuition deposit. Okay. They take payment options as a Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal.
Bro, can the crowd booth become the official NIL partner of Lincoln University Oaks?
They don't do NIL.
$500 for Southern tuition or summer tuition.
All right, Ralph, pull it up.
You got it. Oh, you got it, don't you?
I'm gonna hit play.
Okay.
Here we go. Can y'all see it?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about,
We're gonna get them on
it's like
the
this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100%.
That's it.
There's a lot of different ways we could go with this
Recruitment's still open.
I believe, dude. I got a shop. I'm on the shopper and I'm buying a shirt right now. I've already got a lot. I'm getting a hoodie and everything, a backpack, getting a Lincoln Oaks sticker, home of the LU Oaks. Absolutely, I'm down.
I just don't know what this
Shop by
is.
brand. They have multiple brands you can buy: Adidas, Carhartt, Nike, BSN, Under Armour.
Ralph, if you don't buy a Carhartt Lincoln University Oak shirt,
I'm already bought it.
no,
Dude.
that's,
Already in the-
James McCoy. Wait, James McCoy. I've never seen this guy comment, but we got him out of the woodworks to comment about Lincoln University. Has put in for a name change, South Harmon Institute of Technology. Y'all get it?
I don't think I went over my head.
Read what would the abbreviation be?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
okay, fellas.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
This
then
show's
they could
derailed.
be then
This show
their
derailed
recruits
real
could say
fast.
the University of South Harmon Tech.
I don't really understand what this is. You want to see the campus?
Do a campus tour. Might as well talk about the college that recruited me out of high school. Bryce doesn't believe that college is real either.
Ralph, no, you were recruited by St. Olaf.
That's what I'm saying.
Meet our students.
People that still are making a name for
The dad's in a theater. Dude, they have class in the theater. That's what I just told me.
I'm just not really familiar with like the public school education in California.
That's the graduating class. They just showed us.
Okay, well, we appreciate everyone watching. What a wild show. I mean, if you've been tuning in the last 17 minutes, I don't even know what you've just watched. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. SMU's a playoff contender. Everyone is good. No one is bad. And most of all, Dev, you don't know nobody. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time here in the Crowded Booth.
Pile in here and make